Welcome to our next little adventure. We're out here in South Dallas, a little more specifically Oak Cliff portion of South Dallas. We're here to check out the locations, and then we're gonna head over to the grave of one great guitarist, a man by the name of Stevie Ray Vaughan. He was also known as the frontman of the blues rock trio Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble.
35-year-old Stevie Ray Vaughan came out of the Texas boogie blues scene, a rowdy, raucous style that led some to dub him a white Jimi Hendrix. His latest album, In Step, was released last year.
The way I look at it is if the next show we do is the last one I ever get to do, it sure would be a shame if I didn't really try and give it all my best.
Stevie Ray Vaughan was 35.
So we made our way over here on our first stop. It's Keast Park, right here in the Oak Cliff section of South Dallas. It's right in this area that only, maybe 7-8 months ago, that the Vaughan Brothers monument was unveiled right here. It was actually on October 3rd, 2021. We take a look here. Sorry about that, the guy riding a motorcycle. Here it is. This is the monument dedicated to both Stevie Ray and his brother Jimmy. Now, they picked this spot here at Keast Park because it was a gathering spot for all the Stevie Ray's friends, family, the day he died in a helicopter crash back on August 27th, 1990. So they decided to go ahead and build the memorial right here. And you can take a look at it. It's amazing. It's constructed from 4 weathering steel framed screens, panels measuring about 10 by 8 inches, each showing the imagery of the brothers' lives and music, and even some lyrics. You can see, you can kind of make it out right there. I'm not going to read all of it, but there's lyrics to one of their songs. That's cool. And if you check over this way, you're going to see the Vaughan Brothers right there. That's children. But yeah, this thing's weatherproof. But it's really well done. There's Jimmy right there. There are the Vaughan Brothers once again. Hey, so yeah, very interesting sculpture. Very, very well done. It's unique, and it's a good way to honor the Vaughan Brothers. Now, in a minute, we're going to head over to the childhood home of Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's probably no more, maybe a half mile from this park right here. But yeah, back in the, although Stevie Ray did a little bit of background on the guy, his mainstream career only spanned about 7 years. Even though he's regarded as one of the most influential musicians in the history of blues music, and also one of the great guitarists of all time. I mean, you really can't dispute that. We make our way out of the park. Just wanted to also let you know then that before we head over to Stevie Ray's house again, that house wasn't the most pleasant place for him to be. His father struggled with alcohol abuse and often terrorized his family and friends with his bad temper. In later years, Vaughan recalled that he has been a victim of his father's own violence. So, again, yeah, probably not the best memory for Stevie Ray Vaughan, but there's our car. Let's head on over to the house. We come to 2557 Glenfield Avenue. What you're looking at is the childhood home of Stevie Ray Vaughan. Now, his family moved around pretty frequently. They lived in other states such as Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, before ultimately settling right here in the Oak Cliff section of Dallas. Now, during his time here, Stevie Ray was pretty miserable at home. He ended up taking a job at a local hamburger stand where he washed dishes. He even dumped trash for around 70 cents an hour. After he fell into a barrel of grease, he grew tired of the job and quit to devote his life to his music career. Now, he did start playing guitar at the age of 7. He was initially inspired by his elder brother, Jimmy. So in 1972, he dropped out of high school, moved to Austin, where he began to gain a following after playing gigs on the local club circuit. Vaughan then joined forces with Tommy Shannon on bass and Chris Layton on drums, and they became known as Double Trouble in 1978. Now, he did become the leading figure in the blues revival of the 1980s. He was able to play his guitar behind his back, or was able to pluck the strings with his teeth, just like his idol, Jimi Hendrix.
Today morning, the loss of guitarist Stevie Ray Vaughan. The Grammy Award winner died in a helicopter accident yesterday. A total of 5 people died in the accident, among them members of rock star Eric Clapton's band. In circumstances eerily similar to those surrounding Buddy Holly's death 30 years ago, Vaughan had taken the last seat in the helicopter as he was in a hurry to get to Chicago. He'd given up drugs recently and was playing the best music of his career.
His 5 albums and electrifying live performances won him the praise of critics and fellow musicians alike. They also brought him 1 Grammy Award, 5 nominations, and numerous citations from the trade magazines as Best Guitarist.
And we've made our way over here to our final destination. Seems to have gotten a little bit windier as we moved along here. But right here, we're at the Laurel Land Cemetery. It was right here that on August 30th, 1990, that the funeral service was held for Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Stevie Ray Vaughan died in a helicopter crash early Monday on his way to Chicago. He performed in Wisconsin Sunday night with Eric Clapton, Robert Cray, and brother Jimmy Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan was well on his way to becoming a musical legend, especially since fighting a winning battle with alcohol and drug addiction.
Something that I know that, you see, I'm here on borrowed time these days, you know. I got a second chance on something and I'm going to try to do my best with it, you understand?
Rock stars Stevie Wonder, ZZ Top, Bonnie Raitt, and Dr. John attended private memorial services. Then at the family's request, Stevie Ray Vaughan's fans and friends got a chance to attend graveside services to pay their last respects.
Let us pray.
Faces from his boyhood days in the Dallas suburb of Oak Cliff, friends from his days in the Austin, Texas music scene, and longtime loyal fans. 2,500 in all braved 100-degree heat and jammed a grassy hillside to hear the eulogies.
He was a musician's musician. But along with that, he did what you appreciate so much, and that's why you're here today in such vast numbers. He captured the hearts of thousands and thousands of people.
He taught me to remember how important family is. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you for making me remember music. Thank you for sharing a part of your music with me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Usually a nice quiet time at the cemetery, but unfortunately Laurel Land's built right by a major interstate, so you're not going to get any of that quiet time out here. But if you can block all that out, it does seem pretty peaceful right here. Now, it was on Monday, August the 27th, 1990, right around 12:50 a.m. That's when Stevie Ray Vaughan and members of Eric Clapton's touring entourage, they played an all-star jam session in a town called East Troy, Wisconsin. After that show was over, they were going to board a helicopter to take off to Chicago. Well, right after takeoff, that helicopter crashed into a nearby ski hill. Stevie Ray and the 4 others on board, they died instantly. The other guys, pilot Jeff Brown, agent Bobby Banks, bodyguard Nigel Brown, and tour manager Colin Smythe. And there's the Vaughan estate right here. You can't miss it. It's really, it's an island actually. He has the Vaughans have their own little island right here in the middle of Laurel Land Cemetery. Now right here we're going to have the patriarch of the family. That's Jimmy Lee, the father. September 6, 1921 to August 27, 1986. And right next to him is the mother, Martha Jean, June 15th, 1928 to June 13th, 2009. And right in front of Mom and Dad, there we have it. Stevie Ray Vaughan, October 3rd, 1954, August 27th, 1990. Right below that it says, "Thank you for all the love you passed our way." You see people coming out here, still leaving little memorabilia, trinkets. Now going back to the helicopter crash, now when they took off that night, visibility was bad. You couldn't see more than 2 miles in front of you. It was very foggy conditions. Now as the helicopter ended up, when it departed, it remained at a lower altitude due to all those foggy conditions. The pilot ended up turning southeasterly towards some rising terrain. Helicopter crashed on that hilly terrain about 3/5 of a mile from the takeoff point. Like I said, Stevie Ray's funeral was held here on August 30th, 1990. His wooden casket quickly became adorned with bouquets of flowers. 3,000 mourners joined a procession that was led by a white hearse. Among those at the cemetery were Jeff Healey, Charlie Sexton, ZZ Top, Colin James, Stevie Wonder, Bonnie Raitt, and Buddy Guy. Now back in 2015, Stevie Ray Vaughan and the Double Trouble bandmates posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rest in peace, one of the greatest guitarists of all time, never forgotten, Stevie Ray Vaughan. If you get a chance, go back to listen to some of the great music from Stevie Ray Vaughan. I did before I started doing this video, just to get a little more research. I was never a big Stevie Ray Vaughan fan, but of course I knew who he was, and I forgot he did some of these songs. I mean, you have Pride and Joy, you have Texas Flood, Voodoo Child, a song called Little Wing, Lenny, Crossfire, Cold Shot, Superstition. I mean, just to name several. So go back and listen to one of those or all of them and honor one of the greatest guitarists here of all time. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.